This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Here's what Bill and Ted have to say about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Excellent. Execute. Oh, yes.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Rated PG. Now playing at theaters everywhere. They'll go through heaven.
Congratulations on Earth! Not to mention your other great planets. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus.
They'll go through hell.
We got totally lied to by our album covers, man.
They'll go through anything to play in the Battle of the Bands. They'll even challenge death to a game of Twister.
Ah!
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Excellent!
If it isn't a wild stallion.
We've spent our whole life trying to write the song that will unite the world. Dude, let's get that song.
Let's rock!
Bill and Ted Face the Music. Rated PG-13.
We mixed. We loaded it. We edited it.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
And Back to the Future. Well, I mean, I can remember seeing the first one in the theater, and I didn't pay attention to any of that stuff. But after you watch it about 5 or 6 times,
you're gonna find something. It's impossible.
If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit.
Baffle them. Oh man, they made it. They made most of it stick, but there was still some. It's like the Terminator just shuts it up with, "I have to breed with you to, have the leader of the resistance," and this one is kind of like, "Yeah, well, this just needs to happen just so I get the hell out of here. We'll figure all the other stuff out here because it won't make sense if we talk about it more and more."
Well, time travel, the time machine, the 1960 year or so one,
yeah.
Doesn't it end with him moving? He goes either back or forward, and he moves the time machine over like
something
8
like
feet,
that.
so he's not caught in a cave or something.
Yes.
It's just
that's where he's traveling into the future, I think.
Yeah.
And, and he meets the Morlocks and all that. Yep.
But then they leave you hanging at the end. What does he accomplish, or did it? I liked Time After Time.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that's the H.G. Wells thing.
I'm gonna go after Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then
the TV show Timeless and Supernatural, and even you're not gonna believe this, Thomas the Tank Engine all reference Back to the Future. I'm not making this up. I'm looking at the wiki right now. Oh,
I don't want to go on a time tunnel or a time. There we go.
The time tunnel.
There's another one.
Total rip off. The
time travel tangent here. Yeah, we got to stick to.
I was going to say that it would be really funny if George Carlin had played not just Mr. Conductor, but also played Doc Brown.
Yes.
Oh wow.
I was gonna go into the side tangent on that, but perfect. You just opened the door. So, do you prefer Back to the Future, or do you prefer Bill and Ted?
Back to the Future.
Okay, no, it's awesome. I just want to know because both of them are as 80s AF and have crazy soundtracks and crazy premises.
The thing with Bill and Ted is they get all these famous people and they don't do anything. They go to a water ride,
Oh, no, that's fair. I never took it that serious. I was just having fun with it, but never thought about it objectively. And I would see people say best movie ever. I'm like, it's fun. I don't think it's the best of all time.
It's nothing. There's nothing deep about it. SNL just did a takeoff on it where they got 2 black leaders from the 1800s, and they didn't want to go back. We want to stay here. I can't remember who they were. I should know, but
that's wild.
Yeah,
it's so wild though how like
Malcolm X and
no, they went back further. They went like Civil Warrior.
I totally forgot about the SNL skit, but it's wild how
Underground Railroad organizer and
William Sadler, Harriet
Tubman, and then
they had Genghis Khan, and then they had
I should have written it down.
Well, but what was so wild is just seeing Will Sadler play Death, and then seeing him do it again on the Tales from the Crypt saga, you're like, that's a total Bill and Ted reference. But Bogus Journey was wild how he's fighting a robot version of himself. But was the actual phone booth like a reference to Doctor Who, or was it just a coincidence?
I was wondering about that too. SNL used it again.
And I want to point this out about Back to the Future, the first one. They turned Chuck Berry into a plagiarist.
Right. Well, and that was criticized as, okay, you can't even give Chuck Berry credit. The white person started it, you know.
Yeah, what the hell, Back to the Future. Yeah.
And not only that, during that segment, he's playing heavy metal. He's not doing Chuck Berry anymore by the time the phone call is made.
How everyone else would have been like, hey man, stop making that noise. You know?
Yeah. That's your cousin Marvin Berry. How about it's your cousin Marvin? That's shorthanded. Okay, he's talking to Chuck Berry.
Yeah, kind of like some of the other Bill and Ted stuff. They got a little too cute for their own good, but yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, Bill and Ted, that was like the first time I saw Clarence from Bruce Springsteen in an actual acting role.
Oh, that's right.
I'm like...
He shows up on an episode of the 1990 The Flash, too.
Is he really?
He plays like a henchman or something.
Face the Music was actually a decent comeback. I was not looking forward to it. I'm like, they're doing way too many reboots, and they played it safe on that one.
The story of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure began back in 1983 with former UCLA classmates Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon.
Ed Solomon actually went on to write the screenplays for Men in Black, Charlie's Angels, Now You See Me, and most recently worked on the Steven Soderbergh HBO miniseries Mosaic. But back then, Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson were just two college buddies looking to write a screenplay together.
Ed and I had been friends for a few years, and we were young comedy guys, and we like to laugh, and we like to play, and we like to make stuff up. One night, summer of 1983, I made this suggestion. I said, what about two teenage boys who don't know anything about world history who are talking about history?
Okay, the lady in that car over there said that Marco Polo was in the year 1275. So it's not just a water sport. I knew it.
I think we were just looking for a way to put them in a feature film, essentially. Like, how can we have a whole movie around these guys? And we thought, well, let's just throw them into history.
Where are we, Rufus?
Austria, 1805. The French have just invaded.
The original impulse, which we changed, was that they were going to be responsible for everything bad that had ever happened in human history, that they just blunder from one of that they caused, like, and we thought it was really funny at first, like, oh, they caused the Civil War, they caused World War I, they caused the Titanic to sink, they caused, you know, and then before too long we bumped into, oh, right, that means they caused the Holocaust. Okay, I guess we're not going to make that joke.
But that led us to them talking to these great figures. Yeah. Which is the thing that really lasts, which was they just treated everybody the same. Like, if you were Sigmund Freud or Abraham Lincoln, you were just bearded guys. And that seemed really funny to us.
So we were discussing how the Bill and Ted movies are kind of still to date, like the wackiest time travel premise I think we've seen. They kind of speak for themselves, and yet for a while that was kind of like, I had classmates that are like, who, believe it or not, that's all they knew Keanu Reeves from.
That's crazy to think about, especially.
So, some of them, one pal I had, he wasn't big on Matrix. Like, he'd watch them, but get bored and stop watching. And he's like, he's Ted. At the end of the day, he's Ted. I've seen Dracula in Speed, but he's Ted. I've seen Constantine, but he's Ted.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I believe you. The time where I gave Keanu Reeves any admiration was seeing Parenthood at a young age. It's one of my parents' favorite movies, and I was like, yeah, that's actually a good movie. It's just, that was like one of the first movies where it kind of, I had to soak it up, and like, it is good. You just have to get past the uncomfortable stuff because that's part of growing up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think without the Ted role, I don't think he would have had as big a career. It's also just funny how Ed Solomon can now say, hey, I created 3 different franchises. I created Bill and Ted, I created Men in Black, and then I created Now You See Me.
That's true.
All these weird comedy fantasy franchises. Bill and Ted as well, just because it's not schlocky and it's not really campy, but it is just kind of like we'll make this work, even though realistically, if you're getting all these different dictators and rulers from other time periods, there's really no chance in hell they'd be well behaved if you brought them to another timeline. But let's just say, hey, it just kind of went straight into the comedy, and everybody was fine. Instead of, hey, I thought harder about Back to the Future. That part doesn't make sense. It's like, no, it makes sense when it has to make sense.
Exactly. That's all I say.
You don't have to even turn your brain off. It's pretty much just like just for the sake of argument, let's just go with it. Let's just have fun.
That's all you gotta do, especially with Bill and Ted films. At least the first two.
And it's so wild how Alex Winter has gone on to be an indie and documentary filmmaker. I did see one thing he did that was interesting, but yeah, it was so funny. For the longest time, my brother and I would see a blonde guy who always looked like Bill, and I would always be like, "Is that actor Alex Winter?" He's like, "Nope, that's not him." But escaped Hollywood in one piece. So there you go. But yeah, it was definitely, we would just laugh because my dad was a big music head, so we'd always laugh how, hey, that's Clarence from Bruce Springsteen is one of the time traveling overlords, and of course, freaking George Carlin is the guy who sets this all up. He's the time agent. The filmmakers definitely saw Doctor Who because, like, yeah, don't you love how it's not a TARDIS, but it's a phone booth that provides a time travel portal.
That's pretty much what it is.
It just transports them everywhere, and yeah, the third one was really a lot of fun. I did not expect it to be. I was like, this might be okay, but it came out at a weird time when I was just already getting sick of all the different homages and throwback movies, and like, it did exactly what it set out to do.
I still haven't got a chance to watch that one yet.
There's some other Easter eggs in there that I didn't realize. Is like, the gal who's like the daughter of George Carlin's character is named Kelly in honor of his real life daughter. I'm like, awesome. Okay. I wouldn't have picked up on that. But, we joked how in Kevin Smith movies, his characters are kind of very similar to Bill and Ted, where they're just the atypical guy who explains a lot of the bizarre premise. I think that's why we took it serious, is like he's taking it serious. He's not phoning it in like other comedians might have. But that definitely introduced me to comedy and drama director Stephen Herrick, who's from Critters, but he's gone on to other stuff like Rockstar and Mr. Holland's Opus
and Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. Yeah. Yep. And Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, my personal favorite.
The only Critters that I was introduced to him.
All right, so you started from this top. Jeez. Okay. Nice.
That's why it's fascinating to me that he's the director of all these films, so diverse.
Mm-hmm. Pete Hewitt directed part 2, and he was another one where it was like, wow, he's done a lot of very stupid movies, but he had that one moment in the sun with that and The Borrowers.
I forgot that he did that.
He did a Tales from the Crypt episode, Confession, which is okay. Not the best episode, but he's done some other TV movies.
I have to remember what episode that was. I might remember it.
Natasha Richardson. But there is a Tales from the Crypt connection. I was always so funny to me. Is like, I didn't realize they did all these other Easter eggs by seeing Bill Sadler play Death in this. It's like, yeah, they're going to make him be Death on Tales from the Crypt show and movies.
Just because he was in Demon Knights, that's why they also had him show up there. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's interesting how, like, for such a dumb but lovable franchise, it was kind of handled with better care than other stuff, like all the crappy college comedies that were coming out in the 80s.
That's very true.
It's like it's only off color when it needs to be. Like, I think teenagers and kids can laugh at when the guys go 69, dude. We don't see anything risque. Ugh. It had no business being as good as it was for an Orion Pictures release.
It's also interesting because I believe it was the one that inspired Mike Myers to write Wayne's World.
I can see that. That's because that was before. Yeah, he went undercover as the surfer guy in Point Break, but he still kind of had the Valley kind of California kind of feel. Yeah. And I just love the time travel guys are just called the three most important people in the world. And where else are you going to see Al Leong playing Genghis Khan?
That's true.
After he did he do this before Die Hard? Yeah, he did that after Die Hard. Yeah. Fun franchise. Check it out, guys.
There's a fun to it too. Like Keanu and I actually had fun in the auditions playing the characters. It was funny because a lot of time has gone by. We've forgotten about the early auditions in the specifics of them. And we thought we brought all this stuff to our characters way later once we'd had time to really think about it on a deep level. And then someone showed us our audition, and we literally walked in on day one as Bill and Ted. Like, there's like no method. It's like, I've got my shirt tied around my waist. Like, he's got shorts and a jacket. We're like riffing on. It's like the whole thing is literally there on day one.
It was meant to be.
There you go with that Zoom. You nailed it.
We'll return after these messages.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show.